This is called story time. We've been without power for the last hour. So I'm going to use this opportunity to read from the See No Evil, Hear No Evil movie script I bought off of eBay for, I don't know, 20 to 50 bucks at one time. It's got some pretty cool scenes in here I wish they would have kept in the movie. As long as we're waiting for power to come back on, let's have a little story time here. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's over 100 pages long, about 120. I just like to read the good parts with my favorite actress, Joan Severance, because I really like how she played Eve in this movie. Let's see what we can find here. As you can see, I really don't pay much to the script a lot. Okay, in a Mexican restaurant, they enter and dodge behind some potted plants. Dave, she's with the guy, a short guy with a mustache. Look, you call the police and I'll keep an eye on them. Dave places Wally at a payphone, then heads outside. Now we exit street. Cut to hiding his face. Dave strolls to a parked van and peers in at Eve and Kurgo, who are watching the newsstand. His gaze narrows. We zoom in on Eve and Kurgo, tight on their faces, then their mouths. Sound up as we realize that Dave is reading their lips. Kurgo says, "Don't know they're coming back. We're not even sure they have it." Eve says, "They have it. They're coming back to get it, and then we'll take it." Kurgo, "What if they won't give it up?" Eve, "Well, frankly, I think they'll be too dead to argue." "Oh, this sounds like fun," says Kurgo. In a Mexican restaurant, at the phone, Wally reaches into his pocket for a bunch of change and paws around for a quarter and comes up with the gold coin. He takes this and drops it into the coin slot. He dials 911. "Police officer." "Police emergency." The coin returns as the police operator comes on the line. "Hi, I want to give an anonymous tip about a murder." This is Wally talking. "Sir, this is an emergency number. To give information regarding an ongoing investigation, call 555-3245. Out on the street, Dave continues, watching Eve and Kurgo. Appearing, he haughtily repeats the words, "Get to the forest. Place up in Bogey's Ferry." Back in the Mexican restaurant, Wally deposits the coin again. He dials. Beat. There's a busy signal. The coin returns. Wally, "God dang!" Out in the street, Dave continues to watch. We zoom in across the street toward Eve and Kurgo. Sound up. Getting very antsy. "We'll give it another hour. I'm going to the bathroom." She gets up and leaves the counter. Across the street, Dave's heard enough. He slips back from the van and heads for the entrance of the restaurant. Inside the restaurant, tight on Wally, he drops the coin yet again and dials. This time it rings and rings and rings, and then we hear a click. Finally! But then the camera pans, revealing that the click is not the phone being answered, but Dave clumsily pushing down the lever with his elbow. We don't know what that would look like. "They're going to kill us." "What?" "They're after us. I read their lips. Your friend Scotto stole some rare coin worth 30,000 and they think he passed it to us. They're delivering the coin to some guy named Glenn Forrest on Thursday up in bogies, ferry, then they're leaving the country. Jesus, says Wally. Dave, yeah, and if they don't get the coin back, they're going to kill us. And something else, kinda hard to get the guy, had a mustache, but I could swear he said something about a good old-fashioned spanking. Wally shakes his head, deposits the coin, and begins to dial again. Suddenly, a hand enters frame and snatches down the receiver. It's Eve, and she has a silenced Beretta leveled at him. Oh, that would be sexy. She's so sexy. Oh boy! Legs! Yup. Shalimar. Uh-huh. Let's have it. Oh, I can just picture how sexy she would be in that part. What? The coin. At this point, Kurgo joins them. The coin! Look! I don't know anything about a coin. Kurgo unleashes a wicked scalpel and holds it to Wally's throat. Don't make me use this. Wally begins to empty his pockets. You're welcome to any coin I got, pal. Quarters, nickels, Canadian nickels. Kurgo presses the scalpel. You guys are very bad. To Eve. Should I punish them? Jesus Christ, pal! I swear, this is all I have. Except this. From the coin return slot, he produces the gold coin. Eve taking it. Thank you. That was it? I had it? Of course you had it. I'm getting the car. Why don't you take them outside and say goodbye, says Eve. She exits. Kurgo now holds a pistol. He directs Wally and Dave through a fire door and into, cut to, exit alley. As they enter the alley, or extension alley, I don't understand how they write this in the script, but you know what I mean. EXT alley. As they enter the alley, Kurgo puts a hand between Dave's shoulder blades and shoves. Dave stumbles into a pile of trash. Kurgo begins screwing on a silencer. He's not paying much attention to the blind guy. I just like to fantasize about Eve. That's why I made her MySpace page. I'm a big fan of Joan Severance. Look at this. You mean to tell me you guys don't like this, huh? For $50, I would say this is the best action figure you could possibly get of her. Thanks to Texaside Customs, by the way, for this. Thank you. See what time we have here. About 7 minutes. We'll take a break and we'll be back shortly with more story time. Okay, guys, and fans, I found another cool scene they should have left in off. This is the Great Gorge part. It's in an elevator. Kurgo pushes the stop button. The elevator grinds to a halt. What are you doing? Well, I thought before dinner. Eve, I left the red bag in the city. You didn't even bring the leash? Says Kurgo. This isn't a vacation. We're working, says Eve. Well, I thought we might have a romantic country weekend. We could take a hike in the woods, take a picnic. You could cut a switch off an oak tree. She belts him. You're disgusting. Thank you. See, there's room for romance. That would have been kind of a cool scene. I like how they show her walking in that red skirt and the houndstooth blazer into the building, but they could have added more in. Like, show them enter the building, getting their room key, going into their room, and of course maybe see Eve undressing before the big shower scene. But they thought apparently that was too much time and maybe too much nonsense for the film. That's why I like to read this, because it makes me think of all the possibilities it could have done. You know, it's what makes this story time interesting. Be sure to get a load of this, okay? This would have made the movie more interesting. Boss's office. A large, well-appointed room. Rows of glass shelves on which are displayed various metal objects. Ingots, gears, plates, gyros, etc. There are also awards, photos, and so on. Windows look out on the industrial park. We are looking over the shoulder of Arthur Sutherland, head of the operation. We do not see his face, but the difference with which Eve treats him indicates a rather threatening personage. Also, a menacing presence is Herman, his personal bodyguard. I'm not happy. I hate waiting. They'll be here, says Eve. Why are you so sure? They'll come after the girl, and when they do, Kurgle will take care of it. He'd better. Mr. Sutherland. Storage building. One of those huge prefab aluminum affairs with just one small window. Dave comes sneaking up and peers in. Inside, in a small entry room, is Alice, securely bound to a chair and gagged. Instead of Adele, it's Alice. She looks up surprised as Dave taps lightly on the glass. Outside, Dave glances at his watch. He's counting under his breath, and he picks up a rock. He hefts it, and then wraps his jacket around it. Main building front. Wally waits in the bushes, also counting underneath his breath. 58, 59, 60. And with that, he heaves the rock through the huge window, which shatters with a noise like a bomb going off. Back in the storage building, at that exact second, Dave breaks the window with his wrapped rock. The sound is lost in the larger crash of Wally's window. Dave reaches in, gropes for the doorknob, and opens the door, setting off an incredibly loud alarm. Dave, of course, can't hear it, so grinning ruguously, he slips inside. Wally reacts in horror to the sound of the alarm. Shit! He turns towards the siren and starts pacing off steps. 1, 2, 3! And bumps into Kurgle, who puts his gun to Wally's temple. 4. In Sutherland's office, Eve stares at an alarm board where a red light winks, indicating a break-in. The whoop of alarm is heard in the background. Storage area 3, where the girl is. Check it out. Eve and Herman exit fast. Obviously, to the alarm, Dave tiptoes over to Alice. She writhes desperately in her chair, trying to cue Dave to the alarm. Shh! They'll hear you. Very quietly, he begins to tug at her bonds. Alice is going nuts. I'm hurrying. Just keep it down, will you? The door behind him flees open, revealing Eve and Herman. At this moment, Dave frees Alice and yanks off her gag. All right, what's so important? Well, I was going to mention the alarm, but something else came up. Dave follows her gaze. Beat. In Sutherland's office, the door bursts open. Wally enters, propelled by Kurgle. Look what I found. The blind one. Very nice, Emil. Sit, Mr. Carew. Where's Eve? Oh, I imagine she's out killing the deaf fellow. You have the coin, Mr. Carew. Me? Hell no. It's in the bank, and if you fucking touch Dave, you're never gonna get it. Right hand pants pocket, Emil. Blind people are often creatures of habit. Kurgle begins to frisk as we cut to Eve and Herman stand behind Dave and Alice, who are spread eagle